This is Ibrox Stadium in Glasgow, the setting on a beautiful spring day for one of the most important Premier League games of the season between the champions Rangers and the league leaders Celtic. A victory for the home side would keep the race for the title open. A win for Celtic would take them a giant step closer to the title and a place in next season's European Cup. Hello, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Scott Sport. Between now and 4 o'clock our programme is all about the last Old Firm game of the season, with live coverage of the whole 90 minutes and by means of our Scottish television helicopter, a behind-the-scenes look at how Rangers and Celtic players prepared this morning for the big game. Our match commentator, Jock Brown, will be joined at the ground by Alec Ferguson, and here in the studio to assess the play before, during and after the game, we have two very well-known guests from the Premier League, Willie Miller of Aberdeen and Sandy Clark of Hearts. They'll be talking to Ian Archer. Well, both Graham Souness and Billy McNeill are well aware that this isn't just another game, and both clubs have tiptoed quietly out of the limelight to prepare for the match, which could well settle the destiny of the championship. Our helicopter has been out and about this morning, and we picked up Rangers preparing down at the beautiful Turnberry Hotel in the heart of Ayrshire. Rangers out of the city to prepare for this one, the coach is ready, and all of a sudden the talking is over and it's time to move. There were rumours at Turnberry this morning that Rangers may have one or two late injury problems and will be going to Ibrox to pick up those details in due course. A comfortable 90-minute drive up the leafy lanes of Ayrshire, heading for Ibrox Stadium and a match which means so much to both clubs. Meanwhile, up ahead on the banks of the River Clyde at the Crest Hotel, Celtic have rounded off their preparations, their talk in. Now it's time for them to get moving to head the few short miles down the road to Ibrox Stadium. If there was any tension, it didn't seem to show among the players. And an opportunity here for our reporter Ian Archer to have a quick pre-match word with the Celtic manager, Billy McNeill.
Billy, a lot of people say if you win this afternoon, you'll go on to take the title. Do you see it that way?
Well, it would be a very significant step, obviously. I mean, Rangers are our nearest challengers. We're aware of the value of a win today. Obviously, we've prepared thoroughly. And it is our intention to go and play some positive football, and hopefully that positive football will be sufficient to get us a result.
What sort of match do you expect in Old Firm terms?
Well, I mean, you're never entirely sure what kind of match you get with Old Firm, but we believe we're a footballing side. We believe our best results have come as a result of some good football, and we'd like to think we'll go to Ibrox today and play good football and obviously get a result there because of that.
Well, off goes Celtic now to head down the road to Ibrox for one of the most important matches of the season for them. Police outriders out in front to smooth their path in towards the stadium, and the bus is on the way.
You'll notice the first winner on any Old Firm day, that's the bus company. I'm joined by Sandy Clark and Willie Miller to have a look forward to this afternoon's match. Sandy, all Old Firm games are crucial, important, vital. This one more than others?
Yeah, I would think so. Obviously this one could work out to be a league decider. And obviously all the games are very close and they're very competitive between both teams because nobody wants to lose because your week's obviously a lot better if you've been on the winning team against either Rangers or Celtic, depending on who you support.
Willie, I would imagine you rather desperately want Rangers to win. Whether you think they will or not is a different matter, but as an Aberdeen player you would want Rangers to win this one.
Yeah, I think if Celtic win it, or perhaps even if they get a draw, then I think the league title's theirs. But if Rangers manage to get the 2 points, it's going to be a cracking end to the season.
Right, well, we want to discuss some of the individuals involved, and what we've done, we've given you 3 forwards to talk about and tell us how you've defended against them and what their strengths are. The first one is Andy Walker, who was the first major signing of Billy McNeill to take over from Brian McClare, and has done well, hasn't he?
He's done very well. He's a young lad, Andy, and I'm sure there's still a lot of good stuff to come from Andy in future years. He's had an in-and-out season, but he's settled in quite well. When he hasn't done the business for Celtic, Matt McGee stepped in and done it for them.
It's an interesting piece of philosophy. I mean, that Billy McNeill spent all his money on forwards, really. Yeah. 1.8 million. Walker and McAvenny and Joe Miller. Now, Joe Miller you know well, don't you?
I know Joe very well, yeah. Excellent player. And again, for the future, he'll be an excellent player for Celtic.
Do you see this as a match between the Rangers defence and the Celtic attack?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be a game where Rangers have got to go out and have a go at Celtic, actually.
Well, one man who can do that for them is Ali McCoist, who's had a really great season and quite often unsupported as well.
Yeah, Ali's had a tremendous season for Rangers. He's ploughed a lone furrow up the front for Rangers. He's scored plenty of goals, and really you can't speak too highly of him.
In terms of marking him, what do you have to guard against?
He works hard outside the box, but Ali's true gift is inside the box. When he gets a chance in there, usually sticks it away.
Well, we can see him doing just that. He's very brave too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a cocky character, and nothing gets him down. And he's very, very brave, yeah.
Good. Well, the problem for Rangers, I suppose, is that McCoist will need some support, and that has been coming from Ian Durrant, really, in recent games, either played totally forward or, in his best position, coming from midfield. Where do you think he'll be today?
I think he'll be midfield supporting Ali, and probably Ian Ferguson up front. But when he plays in midfield, he's very difficult to pin down, and without doubt, that's his best position.
Well, we can see in action against you.
Yeah. He always causes us problems playing in the midfield.
Because presumably you don't see him coming.
That's true, yeah. Well, if he loses his markers in midfield, it's very difficult for us at the back.
Right. Good. We'll come to Sandy to talk about some of the defenders who are equally important. I suppose nobody more important than Roy Aitken, because not just is he captain of Scotland, he's a tremendous inspiration, isn't he, to the rest of the Celtic players?
Yeah, without any shadow of a doubt. Roy's really held Celtic together for a long, long time now. He went through sticky spells, and he was the one that kept them going and kept plugging away for them, and he's a great inspiration to the team.
And really holds that defence together, because there's been certain question marks about that defence.
That's
last season, wasn't it?
Well, that's right. They seemed to lose a few goals, and Roy was the one that never gave up. He led by example. And to be fair, he attacks quite well as well. He gets into the other end of the park, and he scored one or two important goals in his time too.
Well, one of the players who's not a defender, but you couldn't really consider this match without him, in fact, is Paul McStay, because he is certainly the class player on the Celtic side.
Needs some help inside. Good running by Burns. Right swinging cross. And how did that stay out from Billy Stark? Stay. Aiken on the right this time. Andy Walker.
You're not going to give too many secrets away, but what do Hearts do when Paul McStay's playing? What's the instructions?
He's obviously very difficult to mark. I think you've got to try to get people close to him to stop him playing. But he's such a good player, and for a relatively young guy, he's such an experienced international player as well now, that he's used to that, and he knows how to cope with that. He'll go and get the ball from the back four and and build up the play, and he also supports his forwards. He always makes himself available.
Well, the most expensive player on the park is Richard Gough, who is said to have cost £1.5 million, which is an awful lot of money in everybody's language, and some people say he hasn't quite settled in with Rangers yet.
Well, I don't feel that's fair criticism, to be honest, because the guys came to Rangers and there's been so much expected of him. And he's had to play right back, centre half, he's played midfield, he's played up front. He's not had a chance to get a bit of consistency and to get to know the one position and the rest of his teammates in relation to that. And I think it's really the fact that the guy scored so many important goals for Rangers in such a short time itself proves how valuable he is.
Right, well, gentlemen, there is no hiding place, I'm afraid. Willie Miller, I'm going to force you to tip a winner.
Well, I'm not going to tip a winner. I think it'll be a draw,
Coward.
actually, and that's not sitting on the fence. I think,
Sounds like it to me.
I think it'll go Celtic's way today, and I think a draw is enough for Celtic today, and I think it'll be a draw.
Sandy?
Well, just for a change, we'll never go to disagree with you. No, I feel that with home advantage and the crowd behind Rangers and how important it is to them, if they can show the spirit that they showed on Wednesday night and play with that determination, then I think Rangers can win today.
Good, gentlemen. Sit back, enjoy the match. We'll talk to you at half-time and full-time. Thanks a lot.
Yes, indeed. I can also tell you that they've got the tickets for the sweep as well. Right, let's go out now to Ibrox and find out just what's happening about the teams. I wonder, Jock Brown, if there's any dramatic team news that you can give us at this stage.
Nothing too dramatic, Arthur. The team has been released from each dressing room, but Graham Souness is warming up there, but he is not in the side from the start. He will be on the bench alongside Stuart Monroe, and there is the Rangers team. There is no real surprise in that lineup, bringing back Jan Bartram and Ian Ferguson and Mark Walters, the men who were ineligible against Steaua Bucharest in midweek. So there's the Celtic captain, Roy Aitken, and no surprise either in the Celtic ranks. Lex Bailey is playing at centre-half with Mick McCarthy suspended, but it looks, Alec Ferguson, as though Celtic have resisted the temptation to play 5 at the back.
Yes, there was a bit of speculation that they would try that. They did that in the earlier Premier League game against Rangers at Celtic Park. But Jock, you know, I've just looked at the Celtic team, and it's quite clear to me they're saying we're coming here to win the league. They're pointing at a team that's really positive. That's what it looks like.
So it's a very positive outlook from Celtic coming to Ibrox for the last Old Firm match. The atmosphere building up. Back with you, Arthur.
Thank you, Jock, and we're going back to Ibrox comfortably in time for the kick-off. Well, as we've said, and you've gathered, there isn't a game in the world in which excitement and passion run quite as high as an Old Firm encounter. Mind you, too often this game has attracted publicity for all the wrong reasons, but that's very much in the past. There are places, however, where this match is still only a game. Hazel Irvine reports.
Millport, on the island of Cumbria, known to its day trippers for its cafes and its ice cream, cut off, it seems, from the mayhem and the madness of the mainland. But even here in quiet ecclesiastical corners, the game of football has a strong calling. And there's one man who's already thinking about today's big game. He's Father Collins, the local parish priest, a football fan of many seasons. But all is not as you would expect. For there's no religious divide in Millport when it comes to football, and Father Collins is actually a Rangers supporter. Yes, he's a Rangers fan. How? Why, you might cry?
It so happened that I've been in Govan so much, Ibrox is the nearest part to go there. And I suppose that's how it happened. Rangers were very kind to me.
And as he heads for the seafront, other fair-minded fans are about to set off for Ibrox in the same bus.
This is a Rangers supporter holding a Celtic flag. You're all travelling in the same bus. There's never any aggro, is there?
No. Not yet. Only the way back.
Is there ever any aggro on the way back, fellas?
No, not really. No.
And how long has this been going on in Millport?
For a few years now.
What do you think of Father Collins, who's obviously the priest here, but he's a Rangers supporter? How do the Celtic supporters feel about it?
Good to have him excommunicated.
I think the best thing we do actually here is a very, very fine thing. They actually have a St Patrick's night in the lodge. And that'll answer the question completely.
And everyone's happy about that, yeah?
Oh, yes.
So, lads, who's going to win the match today, Celtic or Rangers?
So there they go. But because the big game is being played on a Sunday, Father Collins isn't going to Ibrox. It's business as usual for him. But he still goes when he can, and he does have fond memories of his days on the Rangers terracing.
When I was nursing, I used to get tickets for the big games from the players who came up for X-ray to the Victoria Infirmary where I was a staff nurse. Then when I went to the Southern General as a hospital chaplain, in Ward 14 one time, this poor man, who was a very keen Rangers supporter, and the nurses seemed to be frightened that they might object to the priest coming. And I said, oh, hello, Mr. whatever his name was. I'm chairman of the Catholic Rangers Supporters Club. When he said, heavens, you'll be able to hold your meetings in a telephone kiosk. However, he said that deserves a medal, and we talked about football and about Rangers, and he did send me a little medal which says Rangers Football Club.
Can you tell us about the time that you did go to Ibrox with the dog collar on? What was that like?
It was a bit scary in a way because everybody was wondering why I should be sitting in this exalted position with Rangers supporters who obviously came there every week. But it was very acceptable, and I find it very easy to talk about football. The only thing I resent is that bitterness in any, or bigotry is so terrible. I would do all I could to get rid of it.
So what about reaction from Celtic fans? Have you had any backlash, as it were, from them?
They don't believe it, I don't think.
Why do you think that's?
I don't know, they're so astounded, it's so extraordinary, and whatever. It doesn't, I think there's something wrong with it.
But overall, you'll still remain a Rangers fan then?
I'll still give them my support whenever I can. And certainly the Rangers fans on this island have been so kind to me. I couldn't do anything less.
Do you have a message, Father Collins, for Rangers and Celtic supporters as they go to the big game today?
Yes. Support your team and wear your colours, but cheer your own team on. Forget about criticising the other team. Above all, don't bring religion into it. It's neither necessary nor welcome.
So as the lads head off, win, lose or draw, on the way back, they'll all be in the same boat.
Well, there we are. The Millport fans from both Rangers and Celtic are inside the stadium. You can see that the pre-match excitement is building up very nicely indeed. We've already had the teams. We'll be going back to Ibrox Stadium shortly. We'll perhaps be getting a final word from our studio guest. But meantime, we take a break. Rejoin us for Rangers Celtic Live in a couple of minutes from now. Hello again, and a warm welcome back to Scott Sport Old Firm Special. Any moment now the team should be coming down the tunnel at Ibrox, but there's just time, I think, for Ian and our guest to take a quick look at the team lineups. Ian.
Thank you, Arthur. Willie, you've seen the Rangers line-up there. They're certainly going to have plenty of people in the middle of the park, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but I think it's a team that's going to have a real go. I think they're playing Ferguson up front, and they'll be looking for Durant to support both Ferguson and McCoist. And with Walters going down the wing, then I feel as though it's a real positive team from Rangers.
There it is. Of course, their problem has been getting a settled team with suspensions and eligibility and things like that, but that's near enough to the top Rangers side, you'd have thought.
Yeah, just about, yeah. Everybody's available and everybody's fit. So it's a good-looking Rangers team. It's well balanced and it's as good as they've had on the park for a wee while.
Who do you think, we were talking about McStay earlier on, who do you think will be looking after him?
McStay in midfield? I don't think anybody will have the job of marking McStay. I think it'll be an open game probably. If Derek Ferguson can get close to him, then that's what Rangers will be hoping for. But I think it'll be an open game, and in midfield, they aren't what you would call defensive midfield players in any of the two teams in midfield.
Sandy, Celtic now. Alec Ferguson said there earlier on, they look as if they've come to win the title, but that really is just the Celtic side, isn't it, with McCarthy out?
That's right. That's the the more or less the strongest team. Celtic are going to play a 4-3-3 as will Rangers. But the thing that gets me, I think, Celtic have got Tommy Burns and Billy Stack in the midfield against Derek Ferguson and Durant, and it's really the young against the old. And to me, if Ferguson and Durant have matured into really good players, and if they play to form today, I believe they could cause Stark and Burns a lot of problems.
What about young Lex Bailey, inexperienced? Can you recall your sort of first Old Firm games? Was it difficult?
It's I don't think difficult. It's a great game to play, and it's an unbelievable atmosphere which you'll never really experience anywhere else. I think Lex Bailey played in one, and he had a great start. I think they won 2-0 at the New Year game. But it's a big game for him today. Himself and Roy Aitken have got to try and handle Ian Ferguson and Alan McCoist. And the way Alan McCoist is playing just now, he looks as if he could score virtually every game he plays in. So it's a big game for him, and it'll be interesting to see how that one works out.
What about the two goalkeepers? Chris Woods has had a sensational season, really. Yeah,
he's played excellent. As you say, he's had a tremendous season. In midweek there, he brought off some saves that were out of this world. But in saying that, Pat Bonner's no mug either. Very good goalkeeper. And Celtic's record this season in the goals against column have been excellent. In fact, they've got the best defensive record so far this season. And that used to be a weak point in their team, but they've now seemed to have sorted it out. And with 20 goals against, Pat Bonner's doing his stuff.
Tell me, Sandy, what will the players be doing at this precise moment, these last nervous minutes before they can get out onto the park?
Yeah, I think at this time of the game they'll be going round each other and saying, "Come on, let's make sure we don't lose, and we give it our best shot and try to win." I think that's probably more important for Rangers today, because it's a wee bit more vital to them. They have really got to win to stay in the league championship. Whereas Celtic, I'm sure that both managers will be trying to get them relaxed and trying to get them to play their normal game and not to get caught in the atmosphere too much.
One interesting thing actually about Ibrox, Willie, which the fans probably don't realise, there's a very big area under the stands for warming up, isn't there, that you can actually get rid of some of your tensions in there.
We used to use that a lot. They didn't particularly like you going on the field of play, but now they allow you to go on the field of play, and most of us usually go out and kick about outside and just take in the atmosphere. I've never felt the atmosphere at an Old Firm game, but playing against Rangers when there's 40,000 there for Aberdeen, certainly a special sort of atmosphere.
Has the new Ibrox, was the fans a lot closer than they were in the old? You were old enough to have played in when it was the big Ibrox.
I think I just played one or two games. The atmosphere's the atmosphere's tremendous. It was good in the old stadium, but I think it's better in the new stadium.
There they are, the fans. Does the toss make any difference, Sandy?
No, I don't
Kick
think
towards
so.
your own people or away from your own people?
At the end of the day, the supporters of their own game today, they try to outshout and outsing each other, and it's just an incredible noise that you're hearing, this cauldron that you're in. And for the first 10-15 minutes you won't hear the referee's whistle and you won't be able to shout to a guy 10 yards away from you. But that it settles down, and I think the team that settles quickest are the team that normally dominate for the initial part of the game. And if they can get in front then, it's always hard to peg back.
Well, as serving footballers and under contract and conscious of the SFA, you might find this next question a wee bit difficult, but what particular pressures does a match like this have on the referee? Do you think it is differently refereed from other Premier League games?
Well, I think he's got to be really strong in the first 10 minutes. And I think if he sets you stall in the first 10 minutes, clamps down, lets everybody know who's in charge, then he'll have no problem.
Sandy, the referee's Bob Valentine, by the way.
Well, I don't think they could get a better referee, to be honest. Bob's an experienced campaigner, and he's handled this type of game many times in the past. And as all I said, he's got to get his authority stamped in the game early on. And the players, they get caught up in the atmosphere as well. And, a wee word here and there keeps them right. It takes an experienced referee to handle the game properly. And if you've got somebody who does that, then there's never really a lot of aggro in the game at all. No any more than any other game.
Right. So we can count the seconds away, because by my watch I think there's less than 5 minutes to go before kick-off. The team should be coming out, Arthur.
Yes, indeed. Any moment now the teams will be appearing, and we will be hearing from Sandy Clark and Willie Miller at half-time as we take a look back on the first half highlights. Right now, though, time to get final words from Jock Brown and Alec Ferguson at Ibrox Stadium.
Thank you, Arthur. Well, the stadium is now virtually filled to capacity. The crowd's coming in rather late for the match, but they're all here now, and you can hear tremendous noise coming from all around. The Celtic fans congregated at the Broomloan Road stand, a sea of green and white over there. The rest of the stadium principally decked in red, white and blue. So the Rangers team already been announced. They're just coming out now, as you can hear. There's the lineup, bringing in Bartram, bringing in Ian Ferguson and Mark Walters from their European side. And both sides coming out together, an innovation to indicate a degree of peace within the stadium as both sides come out to salute the fans and break to their respective ends. So the Rangers team going to the Copland Road end to their own supporters, and there's the Rangers lineup, the confirmation of the setup, and the back four looks to be Roberts and Goff in the middle, with Nisbet and Bartram on the left, and the front two, McCoist and Ian Ferguson. Ian Ferguson, the Rangers striker, making his first appearance at the Old Firm game. A big occasion for him, Alec.
Yes, it's a big day for him, and he'll be wanting to do something very good early in the match to settle himself down. Just looking at him, it's a perfect example actually to a lot of young players, because You maybe not know, Jock, but I released the boy at Aberdeen. I thought he was a bit small and wasn't going to grow. Just look at him now. But I'm very proud for him.
So Ian Ferguson holding the Celtic to the Rangers fans. There's the Celtic side now. And that's a team, I think, Alec, which you think is designed to indicate they're out to win the match. They're not playing 5 at the back, it would appear.
Yes, well, I heard Willie talking about this is the only team they can play. But they could have played Anton Rogan and settled for a 5 at the back. But no, they're coming to Ibrox Park with a clear indication to me that they're out to try and win the league today.
So young Lex Bailey has played 7 first-team matches from the start. He's been substitute 3 times. He was a hero in the Old Firm match at the New Year, but this is a very important game indeed for the young centre-half. And a very important man, of course, this afternoon, Mr. Bob Ballantyne from Dundee, regarded throughout the country as one of our best referees, and indeed he has a very high reputation all over the world.
Yeah, I think it's an important day for Bob, but he's the best man for the job, quite simple that. For a long time it was Bob Ballantyne, Brian McGinley. I think Bob Ballantyne was the best referee in your country, and he therefore should have the most important game.
Well, Kenneth Stewart was the mascot, departing there, getting the coin from Bob Ballantyne. A big day for the young boy from Clarkston. So the tossing of the coin has been completed. It'll be Celtic to kick off. Mark Walters, a man on whom Rangers are depending a great deal this afternoon. Listen to the build-up of noise, a crescendo now as the sides line up at the start of the match. It'll be Celtic to kick off, and they're playing towards the Copeland Road end to the right. McAvenny and Walker the front 2.
Jock, I just noticed right at the start that Joe Miller is lining up on the left-hand side for Celtic, which then will keep Tommy Burns in field with Paul Mistay, and Billy Stark will give him the width on the right-hand side.
So the tactical battle on the early stages will be crucial. The match is underway. There's Tommy Burns. Derek White slotting back to a left-back position. And the first foul of the game has been given Celtic's way by the referee. The first touch for Bailey, and this is Morris. Bailey been given a lot of time to send the ball upfield. Joe Miller coming from the left flank. Goff's header. And here's Derek Ferguson. There's Ali McCoy's judging the bounce well. Ferguson picks it up, and here's Bartram in his first Old Firm match. The header from Aiken. Graham Roberts at the back for Rangers. Aiken is marking McCoist for the moment. Wilkins playing it forward. The flag is up on the far side. That race between Walters and Morris meaning nothing. The whistle had already gone, but the noise is such within the stadium the players didn't appear to hear that. So the free kick has been given to Celtic. Dwight Aiken will take it. So the principal objective, Alec, I think early on will be to get both sides settled down.
Yes, I think obviously an important game for this. Both sides will want to make sure they don't do anything silly in the early part of the match, and also to try and get their foot in the ball and get the confidence of playing.
So Celtic using Joe Miller on the left flank in the early stages directly against Scott Nisbet. A little flash of temper there from Nisbet when he was caught by Joe Miller. Referee Bob Ballantyne just ran towards the Rangers fullback and had a quiet word in the ear in the passing. Comes off Bailey's head, collected by Morris. So Celtic with the edge in Old Firm matches this season, with 2 wins and a draw here at Ibrox back on the 17th of October. Nodded down by Goff. Wilkins helps it to Bartram. Lots of movement up front from Rangers. Derek Ferguson has gone forward. Comes off the referee, picked up by Stark and then McStay. Aiken switching it to the left. There's Tommy Burns.